Hey guys, Elisa Massey here, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. So, I was thinking, and I think we're gonna have 2 bits of a camp interlude, because I'm running kind of short on time. I don't have time to go through everybody to try and get their personal quests. Who is he? I don't know. So we're gonna focus on Alistair and trying to get this romance going.
Here, look at this. Do you know what this is?
That's a rose.
I picked it in Lothering. I remember thinking, how could something so beautiful exist in a place with so much despair and ugliness? I probably should have left it alone, but I couldn't. The Darkspawn would come and their taint would just destroy it. So I've had it ever since.
That's a while. That's a nice sentiment.
I thought that I might give it to you, actually. In a lot of ways, I think the same thing when I look at you.
Thank you, Alistair. That's a lovely thought.
I'm glad you like it. I was just thinking, here I am doing all this complaining, and you haven't exactly been having a good time of it yourself. You've had none of the good experience of being a Grey Warden since your joining. Not a word of thanks or congratulations. It's all been death and fighting and tragedy. I thought maybe I could say something.
Doggy, shush!
Tell you what a rare and wonderful thing you are to find amidst all this darkness.
I feel the same way about you.
I'm glad you like it. Now, if we could move right on past this awkward, embarrassing stage and get right to the steamy bits, I'd appreciate it.
And you were doing so well, too.
Oh? You're lost then? All the ladies go on and on about how suave I am. I don't know how you can resist me like you do. Oh look, is that a cloud? I expect rain.
Okay, I'm glad that... So I have a rose now? Is that... Like, is it in my... Do I just have a rose somewhere now? Dunno. What's his approval at? 64.
Yes?
I'd like to discuss something private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
Well, let's kiss him.
Oh, you want to right now? Well, who am I to refuse?
And the approval went up for that. Well, I would hope it did. I don't... There was something about how he doesn't sleep with you unless you do a certain thing. And I have not done the thing. I thought there was going to be more, honestly, with doing his romance. So I guess I can go to other people. Who the fuck are you?
You witnessed the rarest of things, Warden. The Dalish stand ready to defend Ferelden.
Oh! Be ready.
Always, Warden.
I see. That's interesting. Because now we have the Dalish here, so we have a representative from them, I understand now. Let's talk to Zevran. He's new.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What's your opinion of the Dalish?
I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one, or so I was told. She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease, and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. Oldest tale in the book.
Zephyrin, that's horrible.
Is it? It seemed normal enough a tale growing up. No different than the other elven boys in the whorehouse. I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the crows. I brought a good price, so I hear.
There goes the train. I don't know if you heard that. And yet you're oddly cheerful about it all.
It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all.
You can say that again.
My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always a point of fascination for me. Through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beautiful. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again.
I know the sort of gloves you speak of.
I suppose you would. I'd always wanted another.
I gave you some.
In fact, I ran off to join a clan once when they drew near Antiva City, thinking that there I would find my true calling. Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come, enough talk of the Dalish. Let us move on.
Oh, his approval went up. The reason that made me happy is that I've heard that it's easy to lose his approval, and it's very hard to gain it. So I've heard. Let's see, what are everyone's approvals at? Hers is 22. Hers is 41. Oh yeah, I gave him... His went up with 50, or by 50, when I gave him the prayers of the dead. Let me see if he'll tell me about his personal quest. Because we're at 80.
You called.
So will you tell me now? Wait, no, that might lead to that, so will you tell me now why you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
What do you mean by a weak mind?
That is complicated. I told you before that I was sent here. I was not sent alone. I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
What happened to the other Canary?
I am told no others survived. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
That's how we do it. What did you do?
I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
And then?
I killed them. With my bare hands. I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
You panicked over a lost blade?
That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Can you search for it? Or couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Fair. Where did you fight the Darkspawn? He said Lake Collinhad, right?
Near Lake Callanhad.
Yes. Don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
Okay, so we have Sten's personal quest unlocked. I just have to figure out how to unlock those quests. What about Morrigan? Hers is 24. What do I have for gifts? Scroll. Nothing right now that I know for sure. I can try and get her approval up at least.
What do you wish of me?
Let's discuss something personal.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Never mind. I feel like why are you still here is gonna put her on the defensive.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
Fair. A powerful Maleficar.
You mean, is she truly the Flemeth of legend and story? Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I've heard a little of it.
No doubt such a tale has mutated much over time and telling. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Excuse me. Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
Flemeth must have been angry.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then?
That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which? She never invaded, or he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
How is it that Flemeth has survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters?
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts.
Then why keep
It may be
Morrigan?
true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
That's a dark story. That's an interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
My mother died a long time ago.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which
Aw.
is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
That's nice. Like that she actually showed sympathies. I like that. Have a snack? I can have a snack?
Oh, wow. Savage. If you keep shoveling down our rations like that, the entire party is going to starve.
Excuse me?
I jest, don't kill me. No, don't hit me. I bruise easily.
Okay, I love this. I love that. Okay.
Does this mean I'm in trouble?
Oh, wow. Okay, this got more than I wanted. Oh my god, my eyes are huge. Okay, this is getting uncomfortable. Okay, that's better. Interesting. Is this a mod that I've got? Because it had dialogue. I'm confused. Because I know the Take a Walk was a mod. But interesting. Okay. I wanted to keep this to only about 20 minutes. I'm sorry these keep getting shorter and shorter. 20 minutes is not going to be common. I have things I gotta do. And this is really all I have time for. So. Next time, might start off with just talking to at least talking to Liliana to see if we're at a high enough approval for her personal quest to get unlocked, and if not, or even if that is the case, we'll head back to Orzammar and get re-involved with their politics. But for now, if you liked what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, maybe tap that notification bell to get notified every time I upload. See you on the flip side. Elisa out.